In the start of the movie we are shown three friends who are students of MIT University. Their name is Nick, Jonah and Haley. Nick is handicapped for some reason so he can't even walk, he only walks with crutches. Nick has a girlfriend, Haley, who is shifting up to California, so these three friends go on a long trip where they stop at a hotel for the night. That's when they get a message from a person named Nomad who is a hacker, and recently he had hacked the servers of MIT University, in which all the blame for the hacking fell on the three of them. And these three were about get terminate from university. Nomad is harassing the three until he hacks Haley's laptop and begins recording video of them. Nomad starts teasing them that they can never catch him. All three are already angry with Nomad and decide that they will find out Nomad's IP address and then go there and beat him up. Later, they trace Nomad's IP address, which reveals that the man named Nomad lives in Nevada. So now they get quite excited because they feel that now they can beat him well. So the three leave for the location the next day. But now Nick thinks that they're going in vain to catch Nomad, because they are not going to get anything out of it, and his girlfriend Haley is shifting to California, so Nick wants to spend time with her. But on the other hand, Nick wants to get away from Haley because he is a handicap, because no girl can live with a handicap. But Nick was not always handicapped, he was a normal person, but suddenly he developed a disease called muscular dystrophy, which caused his legs' muscles to stop working, and he now uses crutches to walk, although he truly loves Haley, but wants to see Haley happy. That is why he has been distancing himself from Haley for a long time. Haley also asks him if he wants to break up with her because he's been distancing from her for so long. So Nick tells her that he is handicapped and she will never be happy with him. Haley could find a much better person than him, with whom she could live happily, so he doesn't want to take those joys away from her. After hearing this from Nick, Haley breaks the necklace that Nick gave her. Here, Nick has to go to Nevada with Jonah and Haley, even though he doesn't want to. At night when they reach Nomad's location, they find that it is quite an old house in a completely deserted area. So Jonah and Nick go to the house and Haley stays in the car. When they investigate the house, they find that no one is there. Then they hear Haley screaming outside, and when they go outside, they see all the car doors open and Haley being pulled up in the air by something strange. And as they both chase Haley, a bright light shines in their eyes and knocking them unconscious on the spot. And when Nick's eyes open, he finds himself in a strange facility, where he is on a wheelchair and all the staff around him are wearing quarantine suits. Here, Nick meets a man named Damon who is also wearing a quarantine suit. Damon investigates with Nick and tells Nick that the Nomade message they recently received was not from a hacker or human, but from extraterrestrial life, an alien. So Damon asks why the alien only messaged them. Nick is still in complete shock and has no idea what is happening to him. So he takes Damon's words as a joke and doesn't answer anything he says. He's just asking Damon that what happened to them. Here, Damon tells Nick that they saw the alien and that the three of them have been infected. That is why they are being quarantined at this research facility. Then Nick's nose starts bleeding and Damon sends him into another room. When Nick is alone in his room, he notices that his legs were weak before, but still he could walk on crutches. But now he feels as if both his legs are completely numb. Well, he can't see his feet because the staff here put him in a patient suit. Also he sees a tattoo of the number 23541 on his hand, which was not there before. The room Nick is in is a password protected room. So Nick thinks that if he somehow finds out the password, he can escape from here. Again, a man in a quarantine suit starts taking Nick from here to another room. So Nick is on his way looking at things carefully when he sees Haley in a room. He wants to see Haley, but the man in the quarantine suit won't let him. And then Damon starts interrogating him in a room. Here, Nick tells Damon that he wants to meet Haley once and then he will answer his questions properly. But Damon forbids him and tells him that Haley can't talk to anyone right now because she's still in a coma. Nick gets upset hearing this. And again Damon starts asking him strange questions like, does he have 10 fingers and does he belong to this planet? Or he came here from another planet. Nick gets frustrated here as to why Damon is asking such an easy question. Then Damon shows him a recorded video from his own camera from when they went to Nomad's location, in which they see a strange entity behind the tree. Damon was calling it an alien. After the interrogation, Damon sends Nick back to a room, and now when Nick is alone in his room, he hears Jonah's voice telling him that he is also in a similar room, and he's not feeling well at all, and Damon is also asking him useless questions. But then suddenly Jonah's voice stops, and then we see Nick next to Damon, and this time Nick has to tell the shape and color of the things on the table. Nick gets irritated by Damon's questions, and after telling him the shape and color of everything, he angrily tells Damon that he has to meet Haley at any cost. So Damon takes him outside Haley's room and tells him to watch Haley from outside. Damon tells him that he can meet to Haley when she will come out of her coma. At night, Nick shares the information with Jonah and tells Jonah that they will run away from here. But Jonah tells him that right now he is not in condition to run away. The staff here is giving him something to drink and he can't even feel his hands. So the same Nick tells him that he also can't feel his legs. Later we are shown Damon and his colleagues experimenting on a cow. That's when something goes wrong during the experiment and the staff starts running towards the experiment room. So in the meantime Nick gets a chance to escape. Nick quickly goes to hide in the washroom, but he is immediately caught and now Nick is being taken to Damon again. so he notices some strange mark on the wall on the way of the room, and when Damon is questioning him, Nick asks him about the marks. Damon tells him to put his hands up this time, and when Nick does, Damon asks him if he still can't feel his legs, but Nick doesn't answer his question and asks him about her friend Jonah. So here Damon tells him that there is no one named Jonah in their entire facility. At night, when Nick is in his room, he tries to talk to Jonah, but this time there is no sound comes from Jonah. After that, he starts making a map of the entire facility on his bedsheet, and after several days of observation, he gets to know the correct password and a map of almost the entire facility. When Damon and his colleagues go to Nick's room the next day, they find that Nick is nowhere to be found, so they get quite nervous, and Damon sees that Nick has made a map of the facility on his bedsheet. On the other hand, we are shown Nick strapping Haley's bed to his wheelchair and running out of here, but standing at the exit door, he fails to enter the password and Damon's men catch him there. At night, Nick remembers all the moments when he was able to walk properly. He also remembers the moments he shared with Haley. Now, it's morning, and when Nick opens his eyes, he sees Haley in front of his bed, who has come out of her coma. He reaches out to Haley, but the workers don't let him, and Nick falls off his bed in a panic, and when he removes the blanket from his feet, he now finds that both of his feet have been amputated and replaced with prosthetic artificial legs. Nick is horrified to see this and starts yelling at Damon about why he cut off Nick's legs. There Damon and his assistant are watching Nick through the one-way mirror. Nick tries to stand on his artificial legs, but he can't, and then he covers his feet, but after a while he learns to stand on his artificial legs, and after breaking the door, he starts taking the Haley from here. He attacks the staff here and goes ahead, but again Nick finds Damon on his way, who tells him that if he goes outside, they won't be able to protect them outside. But he doesn't listen to Damon and takes Haley and gets out of here through a tunnel. Next they too ask an old woman for a lift, and as they get into the car, they realize that the woman is a psycho who is behaving strangely. The woman leaves them both outside a coffee shop, where Nick asks Haley to sit outside by a truck, and he enters the shop himself so he can call someone, but he finds that the phone service is down here. Then he sees that he and Haley are on the news on TV, and the news is saying that they both escaped from the medical research facility. Then the driver of the truck by which Haley is sitting starts to take this truck, and Haley is sitting in it. So Nick chases the truck with his artificial legs, and we see Nick running pretty fast with his new legs. He asks the truck driver to stop the truck, but the truck driver pushes him away from the moving truck. But again Nick stands up and chases the truck to save Haley. Nick also realizes that his new legs are more powerful, and he starts chasing the truck again, but this time Haley picks up the truck driver's gun and points it at him, and he finally stops the truck. So now Nick and Haley leave the truck driver and head off in the truck themselves. On the other hand, Damon catches that old woman and starts questioning her about Nick and Haley. During the conversation, Damon also realizes that the woman has gone psycho, so he kills her with a gun. On the other hand, where the road that Nick and Haley are going ends, and this seems pretty weird to both Nick and Haley because it happens to be the main road, so after that they leave for the other side. There, Damon catches the truck driver and asks him about Nick and Harry, and during the interrogation he finds out that the driver is also a psycho, so Damon kills him too. While going on their way, Nick and Haley come across an abandoned house, and then they both decide that they will stay here for the night. Nick uses the phone in the house, but he is again unable to call anyone due to the no signal. They both become quite depressed as Haley's health also begins to deteriorate. At night when Haley and Nick are in the house, they sense someone's presence there, so they go inside to hide, where they suddenly meet their friend Jonah. Jonah is quite nervous and apologizes to Nick for leaving them both. Jonah tells them that he ran away by wearing a quarantine suit. At night when Nick puts Haley to sleep, he notices an implant on her back. He tells this to Jonah, so now Jonah explains the whole game to Nick. In fact, Jonah tells Nick that they were experimented on at a medical research facility. Just as Nick's feet have been amputated and artificial legs have been fitted, Jana's hands have been amputated and a prosthetic artificial hand has been fitted, and something must have happened to Haley too, because Haley can't go into a coma like that. Jonah says that he has seen every road, but that road does not lead anywhere. Every time the road goes forward and ends, and he does not know why this is happening. And Jonah tells Nick that the number 23541 tattooed on their arm isn't just a number, it's the ID number for this whole place, and it's in Area 51 right now, and this thing can be traced back to the tattoo on his arm, because the sum of 23541 is 51. Now when the morning comes, John takes his friends and leaves from here in the truck, but the military stops them in front of the barrier, before Jonah gets the truck out of here. Then the military gets trapped in the truck by the pillars, from which their truck can neither go forward or back. Jana takes the risk of getting out of the truck and goes straight to the military's system room, where he tries to hack into the military's systems but is unable to even type properly due to his new prosthetic hands. The military is constantly attacking him from outside. And then a huge blast takes place at this place, and Jonah falls out badly. To save his friend, Nick gets out of the truck and tries to get him back into the truck, but now Jonah is badly injured, so he refuses to get into the truck. Jonah tells Nick that he will stop the military men, but they both take the truck and run away from here. Here Jonah thinks of sacrificing himself, but Nick doesn't want to leave Jonah because Jonah is not only his friend but like a brother for him. Nick remembers the times when they were both normal and stood by each other in every difficulty. Nick hugs his friend and reluctantly gets into the truck, so John starts breaking the pillars stuck in the truck with his new powerful prosthetic hands, after which Nick takes the truck and starts leaving here. Meanwhile, Jonah hits the ground with his powerful prosthetic hands so hard that a shockwave is created that destroys everything, and Jonah sacrifices himself to save his friends. Haley and Nick cry a lot after losing their friend, and after going some distance, they see Damon, who is standing in the middle of the road. Nick tries to crush Damon, but Damon's men puncture Nick's truck. This causes the truck to crash and Nick and Haley are seriously injured. Haley becomes more injured and confesses her love to Nick for perhaps the last time, after which a helicopter picks up Haley from here. That's where Damon goes to Nick, and when Nick sees his name on his quarantine suit, he now understands the whole game, and now he finds out that the hacker named Nomad he was looking for was none other than Damon himself, because Damon is read as Nomad in reverse, and now Damon tells him the whole story. Actually, Damon tells him to look at himself now. He is much more powerful than before. The prosthetic legs he received are from aliens' technology, and he's a perfect combo of human and alien technology because his prosthetic legs are far more powerful than normal legs. But here Nick completely breaks down after falling behind Haley. He has lost a friend like a brother and now his girlfriend. Nick then angrily uses all the power of his prosthetic legs, which creates a huge shockwave here, and then Nick starts running faster than the speed of sound from here in the direction in which the helicopter took Haley. Here Damon's men fire at Nick to stop him, but Nick's speed is faster than a bullet. As Nick runs, he hits the invisible wall and reach on the other side by breaking the wall, and when he stands up, he finds that he is still in this base and has been in a simulation for so long. Seeing this, he is not in a state to speak anything, and as he looks back, Damon is standing behind him, who pulls his helmet off in front of him for the first time, and we see that Damon is not human but an alien, and this makes Nick's mind stop working because the hacker named Nomad he was chasing was not human but an alien, and that's why everyone in the medical research center was wearing helmets so no one can know their truth. Actually, the aliens came to Earth and trapped many people by hacking their system and took them on their spaceship, so that they can do their experiment on them, and the spaceship in which all these people are going to the alien planet is named 23541. Which is tattooed on the hands of Nick and every other human in this spaceship. When Nick realizes that he is not on Earth but in an alien spaceship, he can't even say a word to Damon and goes into a shock. In the next scene, we are shown the alien spaceship in space, on the opposite side of which there is a colony of aliens. With that, the movie ends here. If you like this video, please subscribe this channel.